Greetings! Mandroid79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game. And here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. Here we are. And now for today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is Dark States, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, D-BT02. And so for the deck I'm building, I'm going to be using this D-BT01 Baromagnes deck as the base of the deck. Alrighty, let's get started. So first, going to edit deck. Here we are. And now, like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's video, it's a Dark States, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes deck composed of cards only available up until D-BT02. So, alright. First go to Filter Settings, Pack, Show cards only available up until D-BT01, Genesis of 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush with the Legends, and Festival Collection 2021, which was released between the two boosters. Apply filter, here we are. Now let's get started. So first, the grade 3 lineup. Right deck, grade 3, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. His skill is Auto, it's a Vanguard. When this unit attacks, Counterblast 1. If the cost has been paid, perform all of the following according to the number of cards in your soul. 5 or more, draw a card. 10 or more, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of the battle. 15 or more, both you and your opponent put all of your own rear guards into your souls. Choose up to 2 cards from your soul and call to rear guard, and all those units get plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Baromagnes, he's the main grade 3 to run in this deck. Whenever he attacks, and by paying a counterblast of 1, the more cards you have in your soul, the more effects you can activate. So ideally, Baromagnes is meant to be used with a bunch of cards in your soul, ideally 10 or more or 15 or more to use the plus power and critical, and superior call 2 new cards after returning all rear guards to soul. So for Baromagnes, we're playing 4, got one in the right deck. Next up, the grade 3 Phantasma Magician, Curtis. His skill is, first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed in the rear guard circle, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, Soul Charge 2. And second skill, Action, is a rear guard. If your soul is 10 or more cards, Counterblast 2. If the cost has been paid, all of your front row units get plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Curtis, he's a support card for the Baromagnes deck. Just by being called onto the rear guard while your Vanguard is Baromagnes, you get the Soul Charge 2, which works well with Baromagnes' skill of requiring a lost soul cards under your Vanguard. And the second skill, once you've secured 10 or more cards in the soul, as long as you don't mind paying the counterblast of 2, your front row units, Vanguard and rear guard included, get plus 5,000 power, making it easier to land attacks. So for Curtis, we're playing 4, keeping 4. Next up, let's see what else to add for the grade 3 lineup. Here it is. Grade 3, normal order, supernatural extraction. Its skill is Order, plays the 1 counterblast of 1 and discard a card from your hand. If the cost has been paid, Soul Charge 3. Then if your soul is 10 or more cards, choose a card from your soul and put it into your hand. So for this supernatural extraction order, it's a good card to use with the Baromagnes deck once you pay the cost and Soul Charge. And the best part is, the Soul Charge is 3, so you get to build up your soul faster to use Baromagnes' skill. And if you have 10 or more cards after doing the Soul Charge, you can then add any card from your soul to your hand. So ideally a Perfect Guard or another attacker to use with, or Persona right for next turn, making this a very good order to use with your Baromagnes deck. So for Supernatural Extraction, we're playing 2 of it. Okay, next up, the right deck, grade 2, Electro Spartan. Its skill is, first skill, Auto. When this unit is ridden upon by Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, cost, put a card from your hand into your soul, draw a card, and Soul Charge 1. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, Counterblast 1. If the cost has been paid, Soul Charge 2. So for Spartan, he's the main grade 2 to run this deck. Just by riding Baromagnes on top of him, by putting a card from your hand to your soul, you not only can redraw another card to replace the card you place in the soul, but Soul Charge 1. So Spartan is a good grade 2 to use to add up to your soul for Baromagnes' skill. And the second skill, just by calling and Counterblast 1, you get the Soul Charge 2, which adds on more to Baromagnes. So for Spartan, we're playing 4, taking 1 out, playing 3, and got 1 in the right deck. Next up, The grade 2, Selfish Engraver. Her skills are, first skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit's attack hits, soul charge 1. And second skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit attack if your soul has 10 or more cards. Put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. So for Engraver, she's another good card to use with your Baromagnes deck. Just by landing an attack, either by attacking your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you get the soul charge 1, which adds on to Baromagnes' skill later on in the second skill. After her attack, if you have 10 or more cards in your soul, you can not only add her from your rear guard to your soul, but to also countercharge 1, thus getting another card for your soul to use with Baromagnes, and also to countercharge 1 to add up more counterblasts to use later. So for Engraver, we're playing 4, taking 1 out, playing 3. Next up, the grade 2, Crimson Expeller. His skills are, first skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, soul charge 1. Second skill, action from the soul, counterblast 1. Put this card into your drop. If the cost is paid, soul charge 1. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. Server Expeller, another good support card for Baromagnes. His first skill, just by attacking the Vanguard, regardless if it hits or not, you get the soul charge 1. And the second skill can be activated from the soul. Just by counterblasting and taking you out from your soul and putting in the drop zone, not only can you soul charge another card, but also your Vanguard Baromagnes will get another plus 10,000 power. So both skills help build up your soul for Baromagnes, and the extra 10,000 power also helps your Vanguard attack later on. So for Expeller, we're playing 4 of him. Okay, next up. The Great One, Ride Deck, Deep Sonicer. His skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, soul charge 1. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your soul has 10 or more cards, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. So for Deep Sonicer, he's the main Great One to ride in this deck. Just by riding it, you get the soul charge 1, which works well with Baromagnes, requiring more souls, and the second skill. As long as you've got 10 or more cards in your soul, Sonicer can serve as a 18,000 point attacker or an 18,000 point booster from the back row, making Sonicer a good Vanguard and rear guard to play in your Baromagnes deck. So for Sonicer, we're playing 3, put 1 more, we're playing 4, and got 1 the Ride deck. Next up, the Great One, Order, Brother Soul, not going to play this anymore, taking 4 out. The Great One, Steam Battler Gunrum, not going to play this anymore, taking it out. The Great One, Direful Doll Simone, not going to play this anymore, taking 2 out. Next up, for the other Great Ones in this deck, we're playing the Great One, Freeze Breeze. Her skill is auto as a rear guard. When the attack this unit boosts the hits, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity Baromagnes, soul charge 1, and if your soul has 10 or more cards, counterblast 1, draw 2 cards. So for Freeze Breeze, she's another support card for the Baromagnes deck. Just by supporting a successful attack on either an opponent's Vanguard or rear guard while boosting, if your Vanguard is Baromagnes, not only can you soul charge 1, but after the soul charge, if you have 10 or more cards in your soul, by paying a mere counterblast of 1, you can draw 2 cards. So for Freeze Breeze, she's a good way to build up your soul, but also restock your hand of more cards. Alright, for Freeze Breeze, we're playing, let's see, we'll play 2, and now let's see, what else can I put? Okay, then. Alright, the Great One, Cyclone Circler. Her skill is auto as a rear guard. When this unit boosts, if your soul is 5 or more cards, counterblast 1, put this into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose 3 of your front row units and it gets plus 10,000 plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. The power gained from this unit's boost will be lost. So for Circler, she's a decent card to use in your Dark States deck. Just by boosting while having 5 or more cards in the soul, by counterblasting 1, putting herself into the soul, your front row will get plus 5,000 power, so it's a good way to give you more front row advantage attacks. So for Cyclone Circler, we're playing 3 of her, okay. Next up, the Great One, Refusal Hate Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills are, first skill, continuous, Sentinel, second skill, auto. When this unit is put into the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Recusal Hate Dragon, he's like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. Just by guarding event and discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block an enemy attack. But he also has an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. Just by guarding him while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you won't have to discard a card, making him a no-cost perfect guard for the last resort desperate situations in the game. So, Refusal Hate, we're playing 4, keeping 4. Next up. The Grade 0, Diablo's Girls, My, Critical Trigger, playing 4. Oh, hold on, the Ride Deck, Grade 0, Uncanny Burning, starting unit. His skill is auto when written on the top of. If you went second, draw a card. So for Burning, he's the main starting unit to play in this deck. Just by riding on top of him, if you went second, you have to draw a card. Got one in the Ride Deck, okay. Once more, the trigger lineup. The triggers in this deck. The Grade 0, Diablo's Girls, My, Critical Trigger, we're playing 4. Grade 0, Flimpy Slasher, Critical Trigger, we're playing 4. And what else? Then there's the Grade 0, Vital Lever, draw a trigger, gonna take 3 out and replace it with let's see, what can I replace it with? We're playing, alright, the Grade 0, Diablo's Girls, Natalia, front trigger, we're playing 4 of her. Her skill is continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Natalia, she's a good front trigger to play in your Dark States decks. Just by guarding of her while your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5,000 shield, making her a 20,000 point shield on her own, so, okay. Then start taking 4 criticals out. Yeah, taking 4 of this out and putting in... Nope, not this one. Let's see. The Grade 0, Fight a Lever, draw a trigger. We're playing 3 of it. And the Grade 0, Steam Scalar, Malnigal, heal trigger. We're playing 4 of her. Last but not least, the Grade 0, Hades Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Gamash Held, over trigger. His skill is trigger additional effect. You get during your turn, all your Vanguards get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of the fight. So for Gamash Held, he's the over trigger for the Dark States Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard Trading Card game, he features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But he also features an ability unique to him. If revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the rest of the fight, your Vanguard gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. So for Gamash Held, he's a good over trigger to use to reveal early in the game during a drive check, because the sooner you get to reveal him for the rest of the game, your Vanguard will get an additional 10,000 power and plus 1 critical for the whole fight, pressuring your opponent and making it easier to land the final blow. So for Gamash Held, we have 1, alright. The deck's been built, card effects explained, so let's save the deck. Alright, deck being built. And so the deck's been built, card effects explained. For the cards in this deck, we're playing 4, Grade 3, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. 4, Grade 3, Phantasm Magician, Curtis. 2, Grade 3, Supernatural Extraction. 3, Grade 2, Electro Spartan. 3, Grade 2, Selfish Engraver. 4, Grade 2, Crimson Expeller. 4, Grade 1, Refusal Hate Dragon. 4, Grade 1, Deep Sonicer. 2, Grade 1, Freeze Breeze. 3, Grade 1, Cyclone Circler. 1, Grade 0, Uncanny Burning, starting unit. Then for the triggers in this deck, we're playing 4, Critical Triggers. 3, Draw Triggers. 4, Front Triggers. 4, Heal Triggers. And finally, 1, Grade 0, Gamash Held, over trigger. Alright, so that's it. So the deck's been built, card effects explained, so let's get on to testing out the deck, leaving the edit deck menu.
どのモード
Going
で
to
遊ぶ
fight menu,
どのファイトにする
CPU fight,
どのデッキにする
and now choosing the deck I just built, Baromagnes.
どのファイターにする
Now choosing an opponent, I'll fight. I guess I'll fight against Mika Shibuya, normal difficulty.
絶対に負けないから
Right, the battle
絶対に
begins.
負
Let's
け
get
ない
started. Alright, deciding who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock the scissors, I win, going second. Alright. Drawing our starting hands. Not going first, so I redraw 2 triggers. Okay.
スタンドアップ
Stand up the Vanguard, I'm going first.
私のターンドロー
I'm going to ride for my right deck, Deep Sonicer. I discard. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna discard 1 Phantasma Magician Curtis for the right deck cost. Right, Deep Sonicer. Skill, Soul Charge 1.
発動
I Soul Charge a Kyo trigger, okay? End the turn. My opponent's turn.
私のターンドロー
She rides the Great One, a Sea Tsunami. Skill, Superior Call a Great One in rest, okay? She draws a card and calls a rear guard.
ヴァンガード
Vanguard the Vanguard. No guard, take the hit.
ノーガードドライブチェック
Damage check.
ドロートリガー
Drive check, sorry. Draw trigger, okay?
パワープラス
Adding power to rear guard and draw. 1 damage to me. Ow.
ダメー
Damage
ジチェッ
check.
ク
No trigger.
ヴァンガード
18k to Vanguard, okay. The attacker is a Great One, Eileen, alright. No guard, take the hit.
ノーガード
Here it comes. Ow.
ダメー
Damage
ジチェッ
check.
ク
No trigger. Alright, it's my turn. I stand and drop. I'm going to ride from my right deck, Electro Spartan. I discard from my hand. Let's see. I'll discard. Okay, I think I'll discard 1 Deep Sonicer. Right, Electro Spartan. I call Selfish Engraver to the rear guard. And I call Freeze Breeze to the rear guard.
コール
And finally, 1 Cyclone Circler to the rear guard.
コール
Alright, that should do it. Beginning battle phase. First up, Vanguard the Vanguard, 10k.
ノーガード
Drive
ドラ
check.
イブチェックドロー
Yes,
トリガー
draw trigger. I draw a card and give power to Engraver.
パワープラス
1 damage to the opponent.
ダメージ
Damage
チェック
check. Ah, critical trigger.
クリティカル
No.
トリガー
She gives all effects to the Vanguard. Okay.
パワープラス
Next up, my rear guard attacks the rear guard. 8k to 8k.
リアガードにアタックノーガー
The attack goes through. 1 rear guard down. Now boosted by Freeze Breeze. Engraver attacks the Vanguard. 28k. Ah, she guards. No.
ドガー
33k. The attack is blocked. Alright, that's the end of my turn.
ドターン
My opponent's turn.
スタンド&ドロー
She rides Great 2 as Thesis Kiora.
コール
Calling another rear guard. Calling. Okay.
ヴァンガードにアタッ
Vanguard the Vanguard. No, rear guard the Vanguard. 18k.
クスキル発動
Alright, then I'm going to. Not guard, take the hit.
ノーガード
1 damage. Ow!
ダメー
Damage
ジチェッ
check. No trigger, no, nothing good.
クヴァンガードにアタック
Vanguard the
スキ
Vanguard.
ル発動
Skill, she's gonna return 1 rear guard back to hand. Okay, no guard, take the hit.
ノーガードドライブチェック
Check, no trigger, safe. And here it comes. Out.
ダメージ
Damage
チェッ
check. No trigger.
クリアガード
Rear guard to rear guard. I guard with draw trigger. 13k. Attack blocked.
ガード
And okay. So
ターン
now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to ride from the right deck. Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. I discard a draw trigger as the cost.
これが私の切り札ライド
Right. Spartan skill. I send 1 card from my hand to the soul. I send a front trigger to the soul.
スキル発動
Draw a card and soul charge. I soul charge a Curtis, okay. I move to the back, my Cyclone Circular, and I call Curtis to the rear guard.
コール
Curtis' skill, I soul charge 2. 1, 2, okay. And now... Okay, now let's begin the battle phase. First up, boosted by Cyclone Circular. Curtis attacks. The Vanguard, 21k. Then I'm going to activate Circular Skill, Counterblast 1. Put her into the soul.
スキル発動パワープラス
Power plus 5,000 power to the front
ノ
row.
ーガード
Alright, the attack goes through. 1 damage.
ダメージチェック
Damage check. No trigger. Yes. Kyrie cannot Persona Ride. Right, boosted by Freeze Breeze. My Engraver attacks the rear guard.
リアガー
23k.
ドにアタックノーガード
Yes, the attack goes through. 1 rear guard down. Then activate. First activate. Let's see. I activate my rear guard. Freeze Breeze's
スキル
skill.
発動
Soul Charge and Counterblast to draw a card. I draw 2 cards. Engraver skill, Soul Charge 1. And retire rear guard. And then going to put her into the soul.
スキル発動
Counter Charge 1. Now Baromagnes attacks the Vanguard.
ヴァンガードにアタック
I activate Baromagnes' skill, Counterblast
スキル
1.
発動これが今の私の全て
Going to draw a card.
パワープラス
Pop plus power and critical.
クリティカルプラス
28k to the Vanguard.
ノーガー
The
ド
attack goes through. Twin Drive, first check.
よし
Front trigger.
パワ
Wasted.
ー
Okay.
プラス
Second
ド
check.
ライブチェックオーバー
Yes! Over trigger! Just what I needed! Power the Vanguard and another critical. 3 damage on the way.
この思い願いをすべてこのカードに込める
Here it comes, flash, and then bam! 3 damage on the way. First check. No trigger. Second check.
ダメージチェック
Yeah! Critical trigger! Wasted a trigger!
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
And the third damage, what is it?
ダメージチェック
No trigger, alright. 5 damage, that's the end of my turn.
ターンエンドスタンド&ドロー
She rides Esthesis Kyrie.
ライドコール
Calling, calling, calling. Okay.
ヴァンガー
Rear
ド
guard to Vanguard. Gonna take the hit.
スキル発動
Nope, skill. She's going to put a card in the bottom of the deck. Okay. No guard, take 1 hit. Ow!
ダメー
Damage
ジチェッ
check.
クよし
Yes, heal trigger. Cannot heal, but power to Vanguard.
パワープラスヴァンガード
Vanguard to Vanguard.
スキル
13k.
発動
Kyrie skill. Return 2 cards to hand. Alrighty, I guard a front trigger. Front Guardian plus another 5k. So over trigger the
カー
paths.
ドドライブチェック
First check. No trigger. And second check.
ドライブチェックドロートリガー
Draw trigger, not good. Restops her
パワープ
hand.
ラス
And here it comes. Attack blocked. Now rear guard to Vanguard, 28k. Okay. I'm gonna guard with a heal trigger, 38k. Yeah, that should do it. Guard.
ガード
Attack blocked. Alright.
ターン
My turn. I stand and draw. I Persona Ride Baromagnes.
ペルソナライド
Persona Ride and okay, drew a perfect guard. Let's see, in my soul I have, let's see, I've got 1 Cryptic Expeller, but okay, I activate, wait, I check my soul. I'm gonna activate Crimson Expeller, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. I counterblast, move him from the soul to the drop zone.
スキル発動
I soul charge 1 and give my Vanguard plus 10,000 power. Then I'm gonna call Electro Spartan to the rear guard, Spartan skill, Counter Blast 1,
発動
and Soul Charge 2, 1, 2, okay. Nothing but triggers, not good for me. Alright, beginning battle phase. Curtis attacks the Vanguard,
ヴァンガードにアタ
23k,
ック
attack blocked,
ガード
okay. Next, boosted by Freeze Breeze, Spartan attacks the Vanguard,
ヴァンガードに
28k,
アタック
attack blocked, not good. Alright, next up, Baromagnes attacks the Vanguard,
ヴ
43k,
ァンガードにアタック
skill, Counter Blast 1,
この勝負私に分がありそうねスキル発動
I draw a card,
パワープラ
and
ス
plus power and critical to the Vanguard.
クリティカルプラス
Then I return all rear guards to the soul, superior call 2 more. I call Selfish Engraver and let's see, 1 Selfish Engraver, 2 Selfish Engravers. Yep, that should do it. 2 Selfish Engravers to the rear guard, 1 and 2. Plus 10,000 power, another 10,000 power. Perfect guard, not good.
スキル発動完全ガードドライブチェック
First check, no trigger. And second
ドラ
check,
イブチェック
no trigger. Okay. Attack is bluffed. The opponent has 3 more cards in hand. Can I make it through? Engraver on the right attacks the Vanguard, 30k. Yes, the attack goes through. So, bam, 1 damage. Does it? Yep, no trigger. Alright, 6 damage. I win.
私の勝ちねやった
Alright, winner me. I got win, double trigger, attack 100,000 more power, drew an over trigger, did a persona rock, 6 turns passed, did a superior call, retired 5 or more opposing units, threw it 3 times in 1 turn, got 2800 BP, total 5800 BP, press A to go next. Returning to the fight menu,
どのファイターどのデッキ
going
に
back
す
to
る
main menu,
どのファイターにするどのモード
entering
で遊
edit
ぶ
deck menu.
どのデッキを見る
Alright, the deck has been built, Cardfight explained, so with that, and I also tested out the deck, so that's about all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye.